And we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting. And everything is going to be all right. And everything is going to be all right. Pretty Petty Tuesday, all up in your area. The Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm feeling like a real man should. And I hope y'all feel like real men and women should also. Are y'all ready? Are y'all? I said, are y'all ready? Are y'all? I said, are y'all ready? Are y'all? Are y'all? We got a show tonight talking about things that we talk about when we talk about those things. And I'm going to tell y'all we got a lot to say about the way we raise our queens and kings. And I know that you have the right to parent the way you want to. But sometimes when you're irresponsible, boo, yo, somebody going to have to step in. And if I step in, yo, I'm not going to use a weapon. Might use the weapon of the state because I know the state is something that most of us hate. But when the state has to step in, is nothing that you can do. Let me begin to tell y'all a story of foster care. A story where it goes nowhere. Well, it actually went somewhere because we got to make sure these children handle with care. And when you are a bad parent, when you don't send them to school, when you don't teach them not to act a damn fool, well, you got to be put on blast. And this is something that test you can't pass. Let's get into it. Urban Therapy with Sun7752, and this is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feel like real men and women should also. So it's good. We talking about people telling you how to raise your kids. People telling you how to raise your kids. Now, this is a sensitive topic. I think it is. It's a very sensitive topic. It's sensitive in the way of really nobody should have anything to say about the way that you raise your kids. Theoretically, it's 100% true. Nobody should be able to tell you how to raise the thing that you have created, birthed, carried for nine months, and are raising financially and socially on your own. Nobody should have anything to say about the way that you do that, except that the way that you raise your children affects society as a whole. And that's something that bad parents don't seem to understand. Or should I say, that's something that irresponsible parents fail to understand. They don't when we don't raise our children to be respectful, to be kind, to be helpful, you know, what we have is a situation where we may be raising a generation of sociopaths. And I'm not saying that we're raising a generation of sociopaths, but if enough parents fail to do the responsible job of parenting and making sure that their child is concerned with the safety of themselves and of others, we have problems. And it looks like it'll start to look like it's way out of hand or an out of control situation. So that's what we're talking about tonight. People telling you how to raise your kids. Yeah. When somebody tells you that they don't like the sneakers that you buy for your children, the way that you dress your children, when they tell you that your daughter's skirt is too short, can't nobody tell you how to raise your kids. When they tell you that your son's pants are hanging down, can't nobody tell you how to raise your kids. When they tell you that you don't buy expensive clothes, can't nobody tell you how to raise your kids. When you tell them that you only live in a 1-bedroom apartment and you got 5 kids and they all have to lap it up and do head to feet to bed, can't nobody tell you how to raise your kids. You may be doing the best that you can with the resources that you have at the time that you're doing them. The problem really comes in when the safety of the child or the safety of the public starts to be compromised because of the way that you raise your child. And we've all seen the parent that yells and screams to the hilltops, mind your fucking business. Don't try to tell me how to raise my kids. I'll raise my kids the way I want to, and blah, 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 blah. And in some situations, they have the 100% right to make that declaration. Yeah, I raise my kids the way I want to. And that's as long as the safety of the community and the safety of the child doesn't seem compromised. But how many times does that happen where the safety of the child and the safety of the community is totally uncompromised in a situation where somebody has intervened? You know, in my hood, man, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. One thing people around my way hate to see is that that Department of Human Services van pull up, because we know that when we see the van, it's one thing when we see the car, but when we see the van, we know somebody child is about to come out of there and they ain't going back in there for a while. Yep. DHS. That's Child Protective Services in Philadelphia. I found out that it's not DHS out in the county. I was surprised about that because I thought it was a state thing. But evidently in Philadelphia County, it's Department of Human Services, and out in Delaware County is something else. It might be CPS, it might be something else, but it ain't DHS. So the people around my way, they hate to see that DHS van pull up. And they mostly hate to see it pull up because, you know, we know that somebody has fallen down on the job that they were doing with their child. We know that much. It's not like we go defending somebody who ain't doing their job right. We look at it like, damn, maybe it was a mom that was struggling to get off drugs and has been losing that fight. Maybe it's a situation where the child is starting to become unruly or out of control, and maybe they were physically disciplined, and the child knew their rights and called like, you ain't gonna be putting your hands on me. The state says that you can't. Nah, 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 ma, dad, 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 dad. Or it could have been like the mom's boyfriend, decided to dish out some corporal punishment with the permission of the mom, and the kid didn't see it that way. Maybe the child said, ain't nobody gonna put their hands on me except for my real dad, not you. It happens. And in situations like that, we have to do an investigation because the safety of the child is in question, and the welfare of the child is in question, and the state is going to have to step in. The thing about the state stepping in to remove a child or to question whether anything inappropriate has been going on with the child is, you can't tell the state that it ain't none of their business, or you raise your kids the way you want to, because they will promptly remove that child and show you that you can't raise your kids the way you fucking want to. They will show you immediately. Sometimes with police protection. Yeah, your child or your children are going to take a little ride with us, and they're going to be separated for a little while. We might be nice and put them in foster care with, together, because we don't want to further traumatize the child. But the real problem is you, mom. The real problem is you, dad. The real problems are you, parents. That's what the state say. And the state don't care how you feel about it either. They have a job to do, and they're going to do it, and you ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. So all of that, you know, all of the yelling and screaming at the top of your lungs, or in this snarky way, how you would that you were telling strangers that to mind their business, and that you raise your kids the way you want to. Unexperienced parents who have never felt the wrath of child protective services, they make the mistake of trying to say what they can do and what they cannot do. And they F around and find out. But most of the parents already know. So they know when DHS come knocking at your door, you better be on your best behavior. Whatever way you were raising your kids before, you better be raising them right in front of them, those social workers, because those social workers ain't playing. And shout out to the social workers in the Department of Human Services, because I knew a lot of them. Many of them went to my school, in Penn State. They be putting out some some DHS, some social workers, boy. I don't know. Yeah, hey, yeah. Shout out to PSU. I know at any given time, I knew at least 5 social workers personally, like that I could call. Like, and many times they asked me, they were trying to get me into the department, and that went along with my spirit and with my major. It just never happened. But anyway, so when I say that I know that they don't play, I know they don't play. They do not play. And some of the stories that they may share, like, they have you like, it's a bad situation with a lot of these kids out here. So, people telling you how to raise your kids. Yeah. That's one thing. If the child's paternal grandmother or the maternal grandmother, feels like you should be sending your child to an expensive Montessori school instead of the local public school or another public school or whatever school of your choosing. That's different. But yeah, because can't nobody tell you whether you should send your child to private schools or not, or dictate how much you should have to spend on your child's education, clothing, housing, or whatever. It's a little different when you put your child in a situation where you might be have your child in close proximity to a sex offender right there in the house. Registered sex offender, and that's your boyfriend or that's your girlfriend. And you looking at it like, well, that's your past. That's they past. So, and they didn't really do it anyway. Okay, that's fine. But you don't have the right to have your children around that. So you can't raise your kids the way that you want to. But it's different when somebody's opinion of how you should raise your child comes into play. Because that's when you have every right to say that that nobody can tell you how to raise your children. When it comes to the child safety, it's out of your hands because you dropped the ball. You ain't done it right. What's going on, Stacey White, T. Carey Wright, Mia Cunningham, Carol Chamberlain, Chamberlain? What's going on, y'all? I hope y'all feeling all right. I know I am feeling good. A little tired, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Can y'all see, do my eyes look white and or am I looking jaundiced today? My red and my yellow. So yeah, so that's what we're talking about tonight. So let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this your daily, the Daily Go Getterism Show. We do this every single day, every day it rains, every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. But break it down, baby. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains and the DG will do the same. Every day it rains and the DG will do the same. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar, with the And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show, all up in your area. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feel like real men and women should also. Tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show, we are talking about people telling you how to raise your kids. Do they have the right to tell you how to raise your kids? You a Hasidic Jew, how to raise your kids. You's a Hebrew Israelite, how to raise your kids. You are a Muslim, how to raise your kids. They all covered up, how to raise your kids. Jumar on Friday, how to raise your kids. Church Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, how to raise your kids. You know, can't nobody tell you what religion to raise your kids in. But if you choose to join a religious cult in which the children aren't required to go to school, see, you can homeschool your children if you don't feel like the school district is doing a very good job of teaching your child the life skills and educational agenda or curriculum that you see fit. You have every right to homeschool your children. But even when you homeschool your children, they still have to get certified by the state that they are learning the general curriculum that all students must learn in order to achieve a high school diploma. So, yeah, but you can homeschool your children. You can do that. And many people have homeschooled their children effectively. What you can't do is decide that your children don't have to go to school. And sometimes when you join the religious cult, they may decide that your children do not have to go to school and that they don't need to learn certain things. It's been a point of contention with the Amish because the Amish only make their children go to school up until like the 8th grade. No high school, no prom, no, none of that. Now, don't get me wrong, because there are some Mennonite children, and Mennonite is the religion of the Amish. But you could be a Mennonite and not be as orthodox as the straight up and down Amish, in which case you may send your children to high school. But the Amish themselves, 8th grade, that's all they believe that you need. So, they're sort of registered as their own sovereign. They sort of have their own sovereignty, sort of like Native Americans do, But for us city folk and suburban folk, we don't have the right to deny our children education. So when our children miss too many days of school, somebody is going to be calling home. And if they're not able to get in touch with somebody who has a valid reason for keeping the child out of school, then somebody's going to show up. And when they show up, if they don't get the answers that they want physically and well, should I say literally and figuratively, like let's say you don't answer the door, there's going to be problems because now they don't know where the child is. And if you do answer the door and the questions that they ask you about why the child hasn't been in school and why does the child look disheveled and what is that stench that we smell in here, and if they can physically see living conditions are deplorable, well, yeah, and they may see the same thing if you are raising your children in a religious cult. We have freedom of religion, so you can worship whatever you want to. What you may not have the freedom or liberty to do is to compromise the safety and education. And compromising a child's education is the same, or is equivalent to sacrificing or compromising their safety. Okay, Carol says no red in your eyes today. All right, cool. Carol Chamberlain says that's interesting. I never knew that about the Amish. Yeah, the Amish, they don't have to go. They don't have to send their children to school past the age 13, eighth grade. And I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this one. It may be 13 or eighth grade, whichever one comes first. But they don't believe in all of that, higher learning and they say that's for the English. The English is everybody out there in the world besides the Amish. But speaking of the Amish, because their community is so small and is very ethnocentric, they've had many problems out there in Lancaster County in Pennsylvania with children that have developmental problems, children born with developmental problems, straight up retarded and all that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of inbreeding. Yeah. That's the problem you run into when your community is small. You start running out of people that you can procreate with. So you run into a lot of procreation with first cousins. I mean, after a while, you start running out of people. Unless some people start converting over to being Amish, if there is a such thing as converting to that. Yeah. Yeah. They all they got. So yeah, I've known nurses and techs that worked out in Lancaster County at the Lancaster County Hospital, and they was like, "Yo, them Amish babies be messed up." They said, "Yeah, they sweep that under the rug a lot." But yeah, there's a lot of inbreeding. Now I'm saying inbreeding because I don't want to slander them by saying what you're already thinking and that you're already right about in your thought process. But there's a lot of inbreeding. Inbreeding, you know. West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, you know. Yeah. Mountain Mama, take me home, country road to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Yeah, just say it. Country road, take me home to the place. Yeah, I mean, a lot of inbreeding, a lot of inbreeding. So anyway, so when we talk about and the Amish will tell you, you can't tell us how to raise our kids. We ain't the English. The English are anybody outside of the Amish. They be like the English. The English. What is the English? They ain't say out there in the world. I'm like, so if I'm a black person, I'm English. Could be. And if you've ever been to some of the farmers markets, you can tell that some of the Amish people are. You can tell the ones that are pretty racist in their beliefs. Like, yeah, you don't get the same attitude with everybody when you buying those organic chickens and tomatoes or those delicious buttery pretzels. Shout out to those delicious buttery pretzels. Yeah, you don't get the same attitude with them all. For the most part, they come off as pretty friendly people. But every now and then, some of those little bonnet wearing, some of them little bonnet long dress wearing chicks, they catch a little attitude. I know one time a couple of times I had to get with them, and they straightened up. Next, I said, "Look, I'm spending my money because I was picking out the pretzel, and she wanted to give me the one that I said, no, I don't want that one. I want that one." She's like, I said, hey, I don't know. I told her straight up. I said, listen, I don't know what kind of day you're having, but I know what kind of day I'm having, and I also know what I'm paying for, what I'm not paying for. So put that pretzel that you picked up back, and give me the light skin one. She tried to give me one that been under the lamps for a while. I said, nah, I don't want no dry, buttery pretzel. I want a nice light skin one because it was fresh. What attitude about that? She gonna try to give me what she wanted me to have. Nah. Pretzels is expensive, son. Anyway. Carol says there was a reality show about the Amish kids. Yeah, it was interesting too. Because a lot of those kids, they rebel and they defect, and it's hard for them to go back home after they get out there in the world. They start experiencing things that they ain't experienced before. Like cell phones, TV, and electricity. And it can really flip your world upside down. Shit like indoor plumbing. All right. Carol says, now you're going to make me want to go to the farmer's market tomorrow. Yeah, well, pick me up some of them. Pick me up some of them tomatoes. They be having the good tomatoes, yo. Them things be fresh. Make you want to eat a tomato like you eat an apple, yo. See, Carrie Wright says, Hezekiah and Delilah, daddy, uncle, and auntie mama. I mean, it's really like that, though. You know what I mean? I'm going to read that again. Yeah. Hezekiah and Delilah, daddy, uncle, and auntie daddy, uncle, and auntie mama. Mama, auntie, Monty, Dunkle, that Dunkle, Uncle Dad. That's right. I want the light skin pretzel. You know what I mean? Yeah, I practice colorism when it comes to my food. Like, look, give me the red bone pretzel. Nah, don't try to give me the chocolate pretzel. We know what that's about. That thing dry. See, there are times when the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice don't work. Sometimes it's the darker the berry, ain't no juice. You know what I mean? Somebody done left the grill too long and cooked all the juice out. You can always cook something a little bit more. You can't uncook something. You can't roll it backside. What's the shit do? What's that steak is too well done? You can't unwell do it. You know what I mean? Too late to beat that pretzel soft. I mean, beat that steak soft. Carol says, riding in cars, no more horse and buggy. Look, some of them cats done rode in cars, Carol. Think about it. The load that they be carrying. I mean, they gotta the horse and carriage be pulled by a car or a truck. You know what I'm saying? So they way closer to modern society than they used to be. Me talking about some ew. What is ew? Surely, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Surely, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. What's going on about how you doing? So we talking about people telling you how to raise your kids. People telling you how to raise your kids. Unfortunately, the parents that normally say that can't nobody tell them how to raise their kids are the very ones that need to be told how to raise their kids. That's the problem. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Very rarely do you hear really good, attentive, responsible parents talking about or complaining about somebody telling them how to raise their kids, unless you trying to tell them to do something stupid with their kids. Like, no, I'm not buying my child no damn dookie rope in 1987. Well, why not? All the kids that go to their school got dookie ropes. Why can't your child have a dookie rope? They got to be the only one, the only child in the whole school that don't have a dookie rope. He looked like a bum. You mean to tell me that everybody in that child's school in 1987 had a dookie rope? Yes, they did. Except for the bummy ones, like you got your child's looking like. You gonna get my child's neck turned over, I'm choked and taken off for that damn dookie rope. Teach your child how to defend himself, and he won't have to worry about that. You don't see nobody else getting a dookie rope, so I'm taken. See, shit like that. That's the kind of thing that responsible parents have to go through. You know, somebody trying to tell them that they need to tell their kids how to keep up with the Joneses, and they like, no, my kids don't have to do that. They don't have to keep up with no Joneses. They don't have to look like everybody else look. They don't have to do what everybody else does. They can be creative in their own way. They can carve out their own niche. They can find themselves. They can give something to the world that hasn't been given yet. They can study art, music, and design, or whatever they want to do. They can do that. Arts, sciences, whatever. They don't have to be groomed just to work for the man for the rest of their life. They don't have to do that. See, that's when I think is valid that somebody shouldn't be able to just tell you how to raise your kids. But your child ain't been to school in 45 days. And we talking about 45 school days. And we ain't counting them weekends, man. Yeah, so those parents be the ones, just because I buy my 12-year-old thongs and low rise skirts, not jeans, but skirts, you know that where she can barely sit down without crossing her legs. That don't mean nothing. Shoot, people need to look at their own clothes. They don't need to look at hers. Don't know, irresponsible parents say dumb shit like that. You need to worry about what you wearing. Don't worry about what she wearing. You ain't got no business. You ain't got no business looking at a 12-year-old anyway. Why you looking at a 12-year-old all lustful? Shit, they be the same parents that don't even know. They don't even know where the child got the clothes from. Yeah, you know parents like that. You be wondering like, where did your child get the money to buy that shit? Why is she or he dressing like that? And the parents themselves don't know where the hell the child got the clothes from. They know they ain't buy them, but they don't want to look like they ain't part of the process. Well, my child dresses the way that they want to dress to express themselves. Meanwhile, on the inside, they like, I don't know where the fuck they got their money. Where did they get the money? What? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Mia Cunningham says, I drove through Amish country and it was like going through a time warp. Remember the Dutch Wonderland back in the day? Dutch Wonderland, baby. Remember that? Pretty decent amusement park. Dutch Wonderland. Somebody was capitalizing on the Amish. Somebody Shoot, the Amish sure don't have nothing against no money. They might not brush their teeth right. Cause man, they choppers be woo-wee. Evidently, a dentist is not their good friend. They choppers be, they be having them project windows. Looking out of my project window. Looking out of my project window. Okay, anyway. They be looking like project windows, man. Some up, some down. Some got air conditioning in them up. Some of them cracked. A lot of them got the shades. The shades look like somebody. It looked like a cat been trying to stick his head through the shades. You know the kind of shades I'm talking about. You know the kind of shades I'm talking about. You know what messed up shades look like. That's what they teeth be looking like. Looking out of my project windows. Okay. TK Wright says people used to tell me to best people used to tell me to best my kids for what? Oh, you probably mean beat my kids. For what? Breaking a vase? Nah. Or for taking too long to appear after being called? Check them, sure. But beat them? Nah. I understand that. Carol Chamberlain says, Taki, I always say when the government stepped in and told us how to raise our children, our kids suffered, in my opinion. Shirley Sherrill says, when I gave birth, I didn't see a manual come out with the afterbirth. So whatever poor or strong decision I make is on me. You can lead a horse to water. Like I said, as long as you're a responsible parent, things are going to turn out right. But we know some parents. I know some parents. You know some parents. Some parents. Some. We've all known some people where we knew that something wasn't right, but we looked the other way. Like, we might have took the position like, well, I know them, but they ain't like my family or nothing like that. Like, well, that lady pretty much raised her daughter to be a hoe. Y'all take that the any way y'all want to take it. Or they taught their kids to steal. Or they taught their kids to lie. Or they showed their children so much lying, hoeing, deception, and ratchet ghetto shit that those kids ain't have a chance. We've all grown up around children who didn't have a shot in life. I know I have. More than once, more than twice. And, 30, 40 years later, I've gotten some surprises. Some people are still here that I would have bet good money ain't no way they gonna make it. And some have. Carol says, I have too. I know you have. I know you, and this is not even dependent on where you grow up. Because people think that just because you live around the way, just because you live in the hood, just because you might have came up in I don't want to say poor neighborhoods, but in rundown neighborhoods. Let's say that. I don't even like that because it sounds like something a white person would say. But anyway, it don't have nothing to do with that. Bad parenting can happen at any income level. It can at any what? So no educated and well-to-do parents have ever been abusive to their children. Shoot, I know people who make good money, who have gone to school and all of that kind of stuff, who don't even teach their kids to address their elders as Miss or Miss, Mrs. or Mister. They don't think it's important. Like, you ain't gotta call them Miss or Mister or whatever. You can call them by their name. And they stood on that shit. And I'm like, you don't think that is a good practice to teach your children to attach a Miss, Mrs., or Mr. in front of their elder's name? And they were like, no, that don't have anything to do with the children being respectful. That's more so adults wanting to, well, first of all, respect is earned. I heard them say it right out of their mouth. These are college graduates. Respect is earned. So if they insist on being called Miss, Mr., or Mrs., then that's fine. But just out the gate, I don't see any reason for that. Everybody has a name. Nobody is born Mr. Troy, Mrs. Stephanie. And that's somebody that went to college. Okay. So Carol says, hell, the clear kids are doing more ish and live in the burbs. That's right. Shoot. They do all kinds of crazy stuff out in the county. Shoot. I with all of the shootings that I've seen in Philly, I ain't known one person that ever made a pipe bomb go out there in the county. That's all they do. They making their own guns and pipe bombs. I ain't never heard Miss Tina. I ain't never heard Miss Tina or Miss Rashida say, "Oh my God, I had to leave work early today." You know what I mean? The kids called and said, that they big brother had just finished making a pipe bomb and shit. I had to get that shit out of the house before ATF came. I ain't never heard Miss Tina say that shit. Miss Gladys, Miss Ethel, none of them. I ain't never heard them say that. Boy, I told you about making them goddamn pipe bombs. What the hell? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? We don't build bombs. But mom. It say right here in the Second Amendment, right to bear arms. Boy, you ain't going Oklahoma City nothing. No, I'm saying we should at least know how to. No. But out there in the county, you might have to deal with that. Shoot, out here in the city, we got to deal with our kids selling drugs. Out in the county, we got to deal with them kids out there creating drugs. Like what's in this pill? I asked you a question. What is in this pill? Well, it's sort of like a combination of cocaine, crystal meth, weed, and fentanyl. So you would probably be best to just take half a pill if you've never tried it before. What's the name of this pill? What's the name of this drug? It's called integration. I'm sorry, young nigga. What? It's called integration. The pill you created a drug called integration. Yeah, it's for everybody. I have my supplier bust the drugs in. You mean traffic? No, bust. They get busted. It's integration. We got to call the people. We got to call the people. Cal Chamberlain says city kids are buying ghost guns and getting them from the counties. T. Carey Wright says coke and pixie dust. The drug was called integration. They working on a new one. They working on a new one. Wait, what's the shit they call where they move the white people in and they start phasing the black people out? Yeah, we talk about this shit all the time. Come on, y'all. What's it called? Um, all the white people who did white flight start coming back to the city and they start tearing down the projects and buying up all the black people's houses and shit. So they what's it called? Gentrification. Thank you. Gentrification. They working on a new drug called gentrification. this is for the returning white community. Mia said, "Damn, integration is a hell of a drug." They say you take you take one hit of integration, you drop one pill, and you already are a drug abuser instantly. That's instant drug abuse. Oh, you might not be addicted, but you are already abusing drugs. You, sir or madam, are a disgrace. You don't even want to take that gentrification drug. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. That shit was made by Eugene Siskel. Eugene Siskel. Not to be confused with At the Movies or all right, anyway. Anyway. The boy Eugene Siskel. Roger Ebert. Anyway. Mm. Mm. All right. Okay. Anyway, people telling you how to raise your kids. It's not an issue until you're not raising your kids in a responsible way. It's not an issue until your child is doing things out there that poses a danger to the community, and you don't want to do anything about it except tell everybody to mind their own business. Mind your own business. That's what you need to do. Your old ass, you need to mind your business. Your broke ass need to mind your own business. Your bougie ass need to mind your own business. Well, I would mind my own business, but the thing is, your child been minding my own business. Now they've been breaking in cars on the block, and you talking about we need to mind our own business. Nobody saw him. Well, how come everybody is coming to your house if nobody saw him? Y'all ain't see him because if y'all saw him, then he would already be locked up. The day is young, ho. The day is young. TK Wright says, "Does the public have the right to tell you what to do when your kid is a menace?" Evidently, some parents don't think so. Unfortunately, some of us don't learn until we have to be in front of the judge and we find out what everything you say can and will be used against you really means. Unfortunately, Many of us don't learn until that's the case. You know what I mean? Until we have to be in a situation where we better shut up, or when we don't know what to say, and everything that we do say gives us harsher sentencing, may even land us in jail for the night because of contempt. It's a bad situation, man. I saw this video. I think I told y'all about it last week. I saw this video of these people fighting in the courtroom. Last week, I believe it was either last week or the week before. I think it was the week before, and they was pugging. They was getting it on. You know, the boy threw a computer screen at the boy. They was rumbling. They was going at it in that courtroom. And I'm thinking, like, all of this is going to equal up to more arrests. And you know, one of the saddest things to ever see is a person who ain't got no business getting locked up. Have you ever seen it? Has it ever been you? Have you ever seen somebody that you know don't have no business getting arrested? Oh man, that shit have you feeling like, oh my God, they locked up Miss Gina. They what? Yeah, Miss Gina, listen, you know, her daughter was fighting. They tried to jump her daughter. Miss Gina jumped in and fought them girls off with her daughter, and they locked up Miss Gina. Oh my God. Well, how long she been locked up? Well, they came. This all happened around 4 o'clock in the afternoon after they got out of school or whatever. They chased the girl home. And Miss Gina came outside. I guess her daughter went in and told her what was happening, and Miss Gina told her to go back out there. She was gonna fight, and you know she had to fight them girls. So you know they was fighting one-on-one, but then they tried to jump her, and Miss Gina wasn't having it. So she jumped in and whooped all their asses, and then the cops came, and you know it was you know, I mean, Miss Gina was right for what they was doing because them girls was bigger than her, and you know she wasn't gonna let her child get hurt. Anyway, Miss Gina locked up. Now the community gotta go get Miss Gina out of jail. Somebody gotta post bail. We gotta get Miss Gina out the jail. Somebody gotta post bail. We gotta get Miss Gina out the jail. Somebody gotta post the bail. We gotta get Miss Gina out the jail. I said, yo, free Miss Gina. Yeah, yo, free Miss Gina. So after Miss Gina get out, her daughter gonna get put in foster care. Her daughter was fighting for her. She almost fought the cops. We told the girl to run to her grandmama house. But no, she held it down for her mom because her mom held it down for her. Carol said, yes, Miss Gina, I would have too. Somebody gotta post a bail. We gotta get Miss Gina out the jail. Somebody gotta post a bail. We gotta get Miss Gina out of. I said somebody gotta post a bail. Yo, free Miss Gina out. Somebody gotta post a bail. I said, free Miss Gina. Yo, let Miss Gina go. Free Miss Gina. Let Miss Gina go. Mia says, but Miss Gina right. But Miss Gina right, cause F that. Hey man, ain't nobody gonna sit idly by and watch their child get beat up by multiple people. Like, I'm sorry. Miss Gina wasn't that much bigger than them. But you know, Miss Gina been fighting. You know, she grew up in the projects, and Miss Gina knew how to hold her. You know, so you know what I mean. You brought up Miss Gina that changed around her life. She done found God, reborn, born again Christian, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You garbed up Muslim, whatever. But y'all done brought out the Tasmanian devil out of Miss Gina. Miss Gina saw her daughter getting jumped. She just, bitches was flying. Bitches was flying and shit. Shit, it was so bad. Miss Gina scared them so bad, they ain't even want to go get their moms and aunties. They're like, nah. We going Miss Gina locked up. We just gonna let that be that. Shit, it was so scary. The motherfuckers were scared to go to court. Miss Gina got all the charges dropped, but she did about 3-4 days. She did it about 3-4 days down the roundhouse. No, she had to take the bus on CFCF. We thought it was gonna be Muncie. All my Pennsylvania people know what I'm talking about. We thought Miss Gina was gonna end up in Muncie. Free Miss Gina. Come on, Carol, you know what I'm talking about. They brought out the Tasmanian. Look, Miss Gina done everything to change her life around. You know what I'm saying? She stopped smoking, she stopped drinking, she stopped having kids, she stopped dealing with bad men and all that shit. She was getting her life together. But when she saw her daughter, when she saw them girls try to jump on her daughter, she just lost it. And it called back every negative thing Miss G ever been through. He was like the Project Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? Complete with the bulletproof wrist. Ching, 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 ching. Oh shit. TK Wright says Gina is my middle name. Put money on my books, y'all. Mia said Miss Gina and her daughters will be reunited. Carol said, I got you, sis, no problem. Mia said, I got you, Taki. I'll keep the baby girl till you're done with court. TK Wright said this video is public, so I can't say too much. Just know that my babies won't get beat on my wife. Oh my God, I'm so glad it's time to do these birthday shout outs. This don't make no goddamn sense. Carol said, not Muncie. Yeah, it was about to start looking like Muncie, you know, for Miss Gina. You know, even though what we do is wrong. We beat the kids till the sun comes up. All right. There go. No. Don't beat my baby. Keep your hands off her. You just don't know how much I will whoop your ass. Don't touch my baby. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Hit that like button, y'all. Make sure y'all share the show. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious. Hold on, let me read the rest of these guys. TK Wright says, thanks, ladies. I'm throwing Carrie away and getting Gina instead. Girl said, all that changing went out the window, and rightfully so. Don't touch my baby. Ooh, girl, look at you. You don't know how bad I will just whoop that ass. Don't touch my baby. Watching everything you do. Ooh. Okay. All right, we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious June 6th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Nicole Mayo Corsi, turning 53 years old today, and Jacqueline Carson, turning 53 years old today also. And also, Candy Delphin Onconquo, turning 43 years old today. And Winnie Burris, turning 56 years old today. And Kiyosha Chantel, that's my cuz. Kiyosha Chantel, happy birthday to you, cuz. And also, Sanaa Moore, turning 50 years old today. And my girl, Sheila Graves, happy birthday to you. And last but not least, my man's going all the way back to the 1989. No, 1990. Jim Bergmark, turning 54 years old today. I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person born on this glorious June 6th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn. And you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen. Yeah, nobody should be able to tell you how to raise your kids. But if you're not raising your kids effectively, if you're not raising your kids to be able to protect the community, instead pose a danger to the community, if you're not raising your kids to be productive citizens, helpful citizens, kind, and productive citizens, fruitful, then you're not doing the job that you need to be doing. And it may be the case where somebody does need to step in and show you how to raise your kids, because just because you have them doesn't mean you know how to raise them. Just the same way we would tell a father or a man, just because you can create some kids, just because you can shoot some kids in a woman, does not mean that you are qualified to be the father of those children or that child. You have to do the work that is necessary to make that child into the gift that it was intended to be to this world. Anything other than that, it's like you are robbing the world of a gift. And yeah, somebody needs to step in and intervene when it comes to that. But most importantly, do not think that y'all gonna roll on Miss Gina's daughter, because she got all her eggs in that basket. She don't play about that. She don't play about hers. And shout out to all of the mothers out there that don't play about theirs. Responsibly and respectfully, don't play about theirs. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow for another Daily Go Get It Show. So make sure y'all come through tomorrow night, because it's going to be a goodie. It going to be a goodie. And Mia says, how do you remember 89 from 90? I can't remember. Listen, I remember every year of my life, because every year of my life, something significant. Something happened that I wish was back again, and something happened that I wish I could forget. And so it sticks. But that's my life, my life, my life, my life, and the sunshine. All right, y'all. All right, so Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah, 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 yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. And I'm not sure if I said it, but peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. All right.